There's a secret that the people that are winning don't tell you. There's this one secret that allows certain groups of people to absolutely dominate. And you, yourself, will never win because you don't know what it is. So in today's episode, I'm going to teach you that secret. If you haven't done so already, hit that bell notification to stay on top of all of our videos. Subscribe to all of our major podcasting platforms, and let's get into it. Most people don't know the one thing that makes certain groups of individuals successful. And I don't know why more people don't talk about it, but it's very obvious. It's right in front of your face. So I'm not going to build up to it too much. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Notice the first thing I said in this episode was certain groups of people win. Right there. Groups of people. Nothing is ever accomplished alone. Nothing great is ever accomplished alone. If someone says I'm self-made and they're either a liar or what they've made is not great at all. Nothing worthwhile was created by one person. It is created by a collaborative group of people or one person that's kind of orchestrating a larger goal, a larger organization, which then entitles him and requires him to convince all these people to buy into his vision, into his idea, or to pay them in some way, shape, or form, to compensate them, to create some kind of organization or structure. So whether it's a guy like Elon Musk that's just spearheading an organization and, has some structure and some tenure and some, organization behind it, or whether it's a group of individuals that are focused on a goal, everybody has to have the same vision. Everybody has to have some kind of shared mission. That's the first part. See, most people don't succeed in life because they try to go at it by themselves. You, yourself, you're good. You're okay. Even if you're the most focused individual in the world, you can never beat a group of people. Because even if they're operating at 20%, 30%, they're still going to outperform you. 2-3 people are going to always beat one individual. Even Mike Tyson said it himself. There's an interview and a clip out there where Mike Tyson says, if 3 guys jump me on the street, I'm going to lose. And I always hear people that don't fight MMA or don't do martial arts talk about I'll beat the hell out of all of them. I'll beat them all up. You know how hard it is to take just 2 or 3 guys on? You know how hard it is to just take 2 guys on? It's really hard. Even just taking one person on, you might have a good chance of beating someone if you know a little bit of fighting and some technique. But 2 people is very, very dangerous. Once you get 3, 4, oh my God, it's game over. They just have to grab you. That's it. Even if you're a very, very big individual, there's definitely examples out there of very large security teams and very, physically built specimens of individuals out there. But for the majority of people, just fighting 3 people is impossible. And when it comes to our brains, when it comes to our mindsets, when it comes to our work ethic, we can't necessarily outwork or outcompete 3 or 4 people. A team of 3 or 4 people will always beat you. And here's the other thing. Nowadays, if you're living in a first world country, there are people overseas that are gunning for your position, that are just itching to get the opportunity that you have, even at 10% of the opportunity that you have. Because 10% of the annual salary that you get is, just a lot of money to them. It's insane. Most people don't understand that the average salary for a lot of people in the world is not very high. Okay, if you live in the United States and you have a smartphone, then you're better than 90% of the people out there in the world. If you're making $30,000 a year, you're really at the top percent of the world. Of the world I'm talking about. Combine all the poor countries out there. And there's people in these countries that have access to internet that can do jobs like copywriting, like video editing and stuff like that. And it's absolutely amazing that you're able to outsource labor for so cheap. Listen, I'm Indian. India is full of outsourcing. There's an area in India right now called Kokapet, okay? And it's being built up. These big companies are building huge skyscrapers there to outsource their labor. Microsoft, Dell, these large companies are taking over India and buying up land because it's cheaper. It's just cheaper to hire out there. People are focused, people are driven, people work hard, people are educated. It's an amazing opportunity for large companies to get the edge. And they have the resources to invest in this land and to invest in the people and really mobilize the entire outsourcing operation. It's absolutely amazing. Now, people can complain about this all they want, but look, work is work, labor is labor, and these companies are always going to take a cheaper route that's actually more effective as well. It's not like they're losing quality. They're maintaining quality, if not improving it, and paying less. So what I mean by this, and what I'm trying to get at here, is that you are never going to win by yourself. You are never going to win in life if you just operate alone. You need to have people that can mentor you, that can guide you, that can work with you, that can work alongside with you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a few reasons why you need to work with a team. And then I'm going to leave it up to you to do that, or just keep trying it by yourself and constantly fail. Just keeping it real with you. Number one, let's get into the reason number one. You're always going to work in a larger volume. You're always going to produce more when there's more people involved. Very simple math, right? Even if people are operating at 50%, you got 10 people operating at 50%, they're still going to outperform just 3 or 4 people going really, really hard. Like, it's just do the numbers, do the math. And those 10 people operating at 50% are also going to work together, and they're going to find out what they're doing wrong a lot quicker. So the error discovery is a lot higher. So let me give you an example. If you have a search party, for example, and you're looking for somebody, it's better to have a lot of people, obviously, right? Because you can cover more ground. Yes, there may be certain individuals that are skilled hunters and skilled trackers, but if you just amass a large group of people and you set them out, it's very easy just by a group mentality to find areas where someone might have been, or find areas where obviously they haven't been. Human beings are built to be social creatures, and we work well in small groups. And what I mean by small groups is 10 to 50 people. We work very, very efficiently. Once you get larger than 50 people, it really becomes more of a difficulty organizing people. But primitively speaking, we're meant to be in groups of, 10 to 50. Then you have to get structure, economy, so on and so forth. And this is how empires really ruled, and, this is how a lot of civilizations really govern their people. Obviously, when there's a lot of people, there has to be separation, there has to be certain classes, but when there's 10 to 50 people working together, there's a lot of collaboration. So what I want you to understand is that small groups are very effective, and even the military employs this. So if you look at the military, if you look at like special forces, like Green Berets, Navy SEALs, they operate in groups of 5 to 10. And it's not a giant mass of them, like 20, 30 people. It's a small group because there's a lot of communication, there's chemistry, there's bonding, there's coordination. It's easier to disperse information and take in information, and it's an effective unit. So you want to work in a group of people that's, I would even say 20 people deep. 20 people is a great number. And when you have 20 men in a room that are disciplined, that are focused, that are obsessed with their goals, that are locked in, you can't lose. It's hard. It's hard to beat. Like, it's hard to beat a group of men that are completely dialed in. And the only thing that's going to beat them is another group of men that are more dialed in. And this is where you get into the arena of competition out there in the world. There are a lot of companies out there, and there's a lot of companies that have a good group of elite level guys, of focused individuals. This is what I really preach. This is where greatness is really made. You are never going to win by yourself. You're always going to win with a group of people, and you have to find the focus in yourself, number one. And number two, you have to find the focus in other people. And when you combine those things, it's very dangerous. It's a very powerful formula. So part one of this is you're never going to win by yourself. You're always going to perform more efficiently with other people. Number two is it actually motivates you to work with other people a lot more. So there is such thing as burnout. There's such thing as exhaustion. That does really exist. So if you're working really hard and you're grinding day in, day out, like, human beings are social creatures. So if you're doing everything by yourself in your solo mode, like, you get very discouraged, you get very burnt out, you get very bored easily. But if you're doing it with a group of people, you have a brother there to grind with you, it becomes fun. The suffering becomes fun. And when the suffering becomes fun, then there you have a very, very powerful formula for success, because anything that's going to bring you success is typically going to cause you some level of pain. A great example of this is BUDS. BUDS stands for Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. It's the program that's used to train Navy SEALs. And the thing is, if they were to do it themselves, they would all probably fail. But because there's other people there to motivate them, to kind of hold them accountable, to hold the bar up high, to communicate with, to go through the thing with, people feel okay. When I'm doing work late at night and I'm all by myself, sometimes I feel kind of like, hey, is anybody else doing this? But when I'm working with my guys late at night, I feel like we're getting somewhere. We're building a relationship. We're building chemistry. We're going through this together, so that way we can talk about it 10 years later in the future and say, hey, remember that time? Remember those nights we used to spend up to like 3, 4 a.m. and we'd work on a Saturday? Like, I'm recording this right now on a Saturday. Remember that time that we were doing that? Yeah, those were good times, man. That's how we built the company to where it is today. And a lot of times when new guys come to the company, I tell them like, dude, I've been designing this stuff and building this stuff, and I spent a lot of hours building this company. Late night hours with the other partners that you just never seen. And it's something that we can actually like feel good about. So working with others and working in a group of concentrated individuals is always going to make things fun. It's going to make things enjoyable. And the last reason that you should work with other people is because not only do you humble yourself, but you also learn a lot more. You learn a lot more from other people, and your vision becomes more aligned with them. You become more focused, you become more motivated, and you stop just thinking about yourself. And when you operate as a unit, it kind of goes back to number one, but it's a little bit more deep on this level. You're not just more efficient, you're one. You're one organization, you're one unit, you're one team, you have roles, you can delegate to elevate, you can focus on one thing instead of doing just everything by yourself and just trying to achieve a general level of success. So in my organization, I have certain tasks that I am really focused on, and there's other partners that focus on other tasks. And because we hyper-focus on tasks, we become better at our focused tasks, which just allow us to create a better functioning unit, a better operational system, a better organism, an ecosystem that can really, really do very well. And so working with other people allows you to specialize, it allows you to focus more, it allows you to learn from people, and allows you to humble yourself. And more than anything, it makes you aligned with everyone's vision. The vision becomes one, the mission becomes one, the goal becomes one, and that is the recipe for success. So I hope this was productive, I hope this was helpful, and I think that I kind of said it in the first sentence. There's a reason why other groups of people are winning. First off, they're in a group. They're in numbers. You're not going to beat them by yourself. And by them working together, if you get a group of people that are very, very locked in, very focused, very driven, you'll become unstoppable. So if you're operating by yourself and you don't have friends to kind of run it with you, find some friends. Go network. Go meet people. And find people that share your passion for whatever you're doing, whatever it might be, whether it's real estate, whether it's sales, whether it's cooking, whether it's fashion, whatever it is, whether it's music. Find people that like what you do. And then build together. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. If you ever need to work with me, the link is in the bio if you ever want one-on-one coaching. Thank you so much. Until next time, guys, Sumi out.